So this weekend I was in another city for a course. It's where I grew up, so I was staying with my sister for free. However, just to have some fun I decided to download Tinder and see what I could get up to. I don't use anything online at this point in my city because I have a main girl and 3 other plates I get sex from who are steady and consistent. My Tinder profile is pretty standard based on advice from here. My main pic is me singing on stage. I'm the lead in a rock band. I have a pic with a hot girl, a pic with my dog, a pic with me showing off my body but not topless, and a pic with some friends doing something active. My profile description is my height, the fact I'm a rock star at night and a personal trainer by day, and that I like steak and good red wine. I don't actually like red wine, but women love it and it makes for an easy meetup. 3 sentences, that's it. In a few hours I got 9 matches swiping right maybe 20 to 25% of the time. I realized after I should have just right swiped everyone as an experiment, but whatever. Enter Kimberly. I'm 42. She's 38 and definitely post-wall. I'd comfortably say for my age I'm an 8 and she had a 6 face, you can see it, and a decent body, so I'd give her a 6.57. Here's a picture she sent me. Her body. Her profile had a line in it where she stated no 3-word messages please, so that made for an easy opening line. Opener. Notice I gave her a compliment. Women in my age group eat that stuff up, because they like feeling sexy and it starts things off in a sexual vibe. I've gotten unmatched for this, but the ones that stick around are usually easy. Also notice it took me 3 lines to see if she had plans that night. You will see her reaction here. She likes being asked out. One thing guys here fail a lot is asking for the meet quickly if you feel it's a good vibe. Also notice she asked who the girl in one of my profile photos was. This reeks of insecurity. The girl was hotter and younger than her, and gives me social proof over a post-wall 38-year-old 6.5, not a big deal, but gives me some leverage. This was all in the first about 20 minutes of messaging, and those are the first 3 screens of chatting. Date set up. She initiated asking me for coffee. I said why not a glass of wine, and you can see the exchange. Flirtatious, sexual innuendo, and notice that she suggested wine instead of coffee. I didn't even need to. I'm basically telling her I want to eat her pussy and she's okay with it. Bingo. Then once we established a date, her insecurity really started coming out and I got a shit test almost immediately, which I actually treated as a comfort test. She's down for casual. Tip: women love when you say connection. They think it's something magical where you'll look into each other's eyes and fairies will come down and rain magic dust and you'll run off together in a romance. Basically I was totally vague and gave her enough to say that she was down with whatever may be, which means she's okay with casual sex without making her sound like a cheap slut. Also, I'm being direct the whole time. So by this time we have set up a wine date. She's talked about me singing to her and I want to see more pics, so I transfer her to WhatsApp. I could have texted, but she would have known right away that I'm not from her city. As far as she knew, I lived 10 minutes away from her. Gives me the number. Once we got onto WhatsApp, she sent me a much sexier picture, basically topless, and I started telling her very sexual things. She was meeting a friend that night and had to leave, but with this shot, notice that she told me she would be commando under her dress. I did not prompt her for that, she suggested it. Commando. If I had stayed in that city last night, I have no doubt that I would have fucked her. We had a date to meet. She had already told me she was going to wear a sexy dress and going commando, and I had already established that if the night went well we were heading back to her place and she was fine with it. I had told her where we were meeting by googling wine bars and her neighborhood and telling her to meet me at the number 1 hit at 7:30. Now, I'm not posting this for the benefit of anyone under 30, except that if you're wondering about Tinder game, I'm basically following the textbook as it is laid out with some modifications that have worked for me and in my experience work with women who are post-wall. I like older women. They are less hassle and drama and usually much better in bed, even if they aren't all HB9s. I am not dealing with 25-year-olds, that would require a different game and I'm not at that level, yet. However, For my fellow 40+ guys, it is really this easy, which is why I put screenshots as proof. This was a post-wall cougar who isn't that attractive. However, if you want to get laid and that's all you want, this shit is really easy. I have several women just like this in my home city who are great plates and give me decent sex whenever I want it. I laid this out to show that this shit works. Minimal messaging before setting up a meet. Be flirtatious and sexual from the start. Don't waste time talking about anything else. Bat away shit in comfort tests when you recognize them. Set up the date. Don't ask her where or when she wants to meet. I kept her on the line until I knew my plane was leaving because I almost got snowed in due to bad weather, and when I cancelled she immediately suggested we meet later that week.